Good evening. I'm reaching out to you not just as the village manager for the village or as a partner for the township, but I'm here as your neighbor, a parent, a leader amongst many, to extend my service and commitment to help us get through this together. The village and township is in good shape thanks to the proactive collaboration of an extensive local network of organizations and individuals who have been meeting daily since March 12th to develop. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask everyone to mute. The village and township is in good shape thanks to the proactive collaboration of an extensive local network of organizations and individuals who have been meeting daily since March 12th to develop careful and thoughtful responses to prioritize community needs given the impacts of coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. The coalition of nonprofits, government agencies, elected officials, and representatives of key stakeholder groups is identifying gaps in services and coordinating services to help us get through this pandemic together. It is important that we do not overreact or panic, but be responsive to this highly contagious virus by adopting proactive and practical measures to reduce the transmission of COVID-19. And being mindful that this is a quickly evolving situation that no one knows how severe the outbreak will be, nor is truly prepared for. We are working on the immediate need while also preparing for the long-term work ahead of us. Thus, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This pandemic will test all of us, but we are certain that as a community, practicing shared leadership and collaboration, we will mitigate the impact and ensure access to essential services, food, shelter, a safety net. We look forward to partnering with you in this endeavor, as this will require the participation of the entire village and township. We encourage you to connect with us through the various platforms we have to prepare our community for what's ahead. We have multiple sites you can access for information. At the end of this telecast, we will post this information for you so that it is readily available to you. I would like to mention 3 resources that you should know about. Coronavirus.gov. This is the CDC website with the latest information on how to protect yourself and your loved ones. Coronavirus.ohio.gov. You may be aware that the Ohio Department of Health is the lead responding agency and has set up a toll-free hotline for questions regarding COVID-19. Please call 1-833-4-AXE-ODH. That's 1-833-427-5634, or visit their dedicated website for specific information related to Ohio. Another resource is our HyperReach system. This is our emergency alert system. You may sign up for HyperReach by visiting our website at yso.com. We are committed to the safety of our team, our residents, and community members while maintaining all essential services to residents and businesses. To ensure that our residents will continue to have access to life-sustaining resources, we are suspending disconnection of services for non-payment until further notice. We also guarantee that we will support multiple communication channels to facilitate public feedback, important updates, such as these virtual meetings. These virtual meetings may be new for some but still allow for robust interactions. If you're a senior and are concerned over being able to shop for grocery, a process has been set up for orders at Tom's Market. Please call the Senior Center at 937-767-5751 and place your order. You may also email your order at info@ysseniors.org. Please provide a list of groceries, address, and telephone number. Orders submitted by noon will be delivered the next day by noon. There are no deliveries on Sunday or Monday. Again, I will post this information after the telecast. For all others who would like access to food by local businesses, the Chamber has developed a restaurant carry-out delivery guide that is being updated as frequently as necessary. That guide can be found at the Yellow Springs Bulletin Board and on the Yellow Springs website, the Yellow Springs Chamber website. They are also working to track all other business closures, status changes, and will communicate that information to the community. They do ask that business owners communicate closures and other changes to the Yellow Springs Chamber by emailing Karen Wintrow at kwintrow@yschamber.org. Also, businesses should visit the Yellow Springs Chamber COVID-19 research page for information about SBA loans, unemployment insurance, COVID-19 in the workplace, and other information vital for businesses to know. This information can be found at yschamber.org, and there's a dedicated tab on the menu bar. I will now give the floor to my colleagues, Johnny Burns, Director of Public Works, Colin Altman, Fire Chief, Mayor Pam, Terry Holden, Superintendent of Yellow Springs Schools, and Jenna Marie Cox with Yellow Springs Community Foundation. Thank you. Johnny?
Thank you, Josue. Just to let you guys know, we are continuing operations. We are half staff every other day. We are going to be that way for a while. We are in it for the long haul. We are providing the services that we need to get. We have not done a lot of extra projects. We're just trying to maintain right now. One thing that I think we need to put out there, that if you're using anything other than toilet paper, please don't flush it. It's causing issues with our system because it is not biodegradable. The wipes that they say are biodegradable are not biodegradable. So if you could, watch what you flush toilet paper only. That makes our system run a lot better. We don't have backups that way. And let's all see if we can get through this and continue on doing what we do, being strong for everybody and working together. Thank you.
We would now pass the floor to Colin Altman. Colin, please.
Thank you very much, Josue. I just want to let everyone know, while this is an unprecedented situation that we're all in right now together, it's not an untenable situation. This isn't the horror stories that we see on the movies. There's no need to panic. There is no quarantine or shelter-in-place order nationally or statewide. You may have heard about some in the San Francisco Bay Area and in New York City. They are suffering greater incidences of infection than we are. As of right now, there are no plans on the governor's level to implement those orders here. You can still leave your home. You can still go to Tom's to get your groceries. You can go to Kroger and get your groceries. You can go next door and visit your friends as long as you maintain that good social distancing of 6 feet. We do, however, urge our senior members of the community and those who are immunocompromised to stay home and to utilize the services that you hear about in these phone, these update meetings, as well as what's on the Village Facebook page and websites. It's important that we as a community all work together to protect you and each other. So it's not exciting, but stay home when you can. As always, fire department is here if you need us or if you just need some reassurance. Our staff is on duty 24 hours a day. We've got people here. We're taking steps to protect our staff. So if we're wearing masks around you or screening your temperature, it's nothing personal, but we need to protect our guys and gals to make sure that they can still come to work every day. But again, it's important to remember, while this is weird times for us, we're going to make it through as a community, as a country together. We've got some good people in charge and some good science that's driving everything. So stay calm, don't panic, go get your groceries, get takeout from local restaurants. And if you need us for a medical emergency, call us. If you have a fire, call us. If you just need someone to talk to, give us a call here at the firehouse too, and we can do that. Back to you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Colin. All right, we'll now pass the floor to Mayor Pam.
Okay, can you hear me? Great.
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Mayor Pam here, and what I would like to do by starting off is just to say your village is a well-oiled machine. I promise you, from the first day that everyone started gathering to communicate and strategize, they have worked tirelessly, all levels, from village manager Josue, who's just been absolutely outstanding, to the man in front, behind the camera right now, Sean Devine. I want to give him another shout out because he's doing great work with Philip's help to get and keep this new technology up and going. So thanks to everyone who's pitching in and helping. And I want our residents to know that you're being well taken care of. The project I want to share with you right now is one that started at the suggestion of the Yellow Springs Foundation, the community foundation, with the help of some of the different volunteers and committees that have been coming together. Communication. It's very important, obviously. And the project I'm going to talk about with you right now, we are calling the Neighborhood Block Contacts, based upon the neighborhood block parties that we have every summer. What we did was we started with a list of about 7 block party captains, folks who congregate for block parties and get those organized. And to a person, everyone agreed to be a contact person. We then added various volunteers and names to the list. I blew up a map of Yellow Springs, figuratively speaking, blew up Yellow Springs here and divided it up into different sections, 3, 4 streets, perhaps 1 street if it was a large street, and began matching names of volunteers and putting them on the map. These folks are going to be contacts, if you will, for your neighborhoods. You'll be hearing more about this later. We still have just a few more neighborhoods to get assigned, and I've had some very, very good volunteers step up and working on that tonight. So by the end of this week, the hope is to have our village mapped. Now you say, what's the purpose of this? Well, the purpose is going to be to have a point person to whom you can reach out if you need to, locally, if you're living alone, if you're getting up there in years and you're not real sure about getting outside or doing some of the chores that need to be done or resources and so forth, you can call your point person. These names will be publicized so you know who they are. Now, in that regard, once we get that map out, you'll know those names and this project will begin. You'll be hopefully contacted, or you can contact your point person. So neighborhood block contacts, emphasis on the word neighborhood. We're taking what's going on at the federal level, running it through that big funnel, down through the state and right on to our own little Yellow Springs and into your neighborhood. So again, think block parties. A big resource for you this week is going to be our Yellow Springs News. Thank you to the people at the news. Especially thank you to the copy you're going to be provided this week, whether you subscribe to the paper or not. And I realize this has already been said in various venues, but we want to make sure everybody tuning in tonight knows this. Everyone in town, thanks to Every Door Direct Mail, EDDM, is going to be receiving a Yellow Springs News. In it, you're going to find this flyer that's going to be very helpful to you. On the front are our reminders of health habits that we should be following. By now, you know what they are. You're washing your hands, you're covering your cough, you're staying inside to the greatest extent possible, social distancing, etc. But it's the back side that I think is really important for you to pay attention to, because this is our list of local resources and numbers that you can call. This will be coming to your house in that Yellow Springs News that you'll receive no later than tomorrow. And it's got a wealth of information depending on what your needs might be. Back to our neighbor block program, you're going to have an opportunity to either call your block contact to sign up for volunteering in any aspect in the village if you so choose, or get the number of our great folks at the Community Foundation who are waiting to take your calls to sign up to volunteer in whatever capacity you feel comfortable. So you can use your contact to call out and volunteer, to find out how you do that. Or conversely, if you have a need and you're unsure how to proceed, you can give your contact a call. So I pay real close attention to this resource when it comes. And again, I want to thank the folks at the Community Foundation here in town. Some of them are sitting on this panel tonight. I want to thank the folks at the Yellow Springs Chamber. Karen Wintro is a miracle worker. She's been pulling together all sorts of things, from restaurants that are open to businesses that are open or starting to close or whatever. She's a true resource for our community, and thank you, Karen. So pay attention. You'll hear more on this. And that's all I want to say. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you, Mayor Pam.
You're welcome.
And now we will give the floor to Terry Holden, Superintendent of Yellow Springs Schools. Terry?
Thank you, Josue. Good evening, everyone. I want to talk really about two things tonight. And the first is our efforts to provide food to the children of the district. So today we had our first food distribution for Yellow Springs schools. Families came to pick up food at the high school, and then we delivered to those who indicated they would be unable to pick up today. We were going off of our list of families who utilize free and reduced lunch. So we only were able to reach about 60% of our students today, and that's not enough because we're in a unique time now, and everyone is going to need as much support as we can give them. And so we're going to change our approach a little bit, and we will be delivering to all of those families on our list, beginning on Friday with our Friday distribution. Still the same time, 9 to 11 a.m. And so we will deliver food on Friday, and then we will continue during the next 2 weeks with our regular previously stated distribution schedule of Tuesdays and Fridays from 9 to 11. So if parents and families, if you currently are not on our list to receive food and you need food assistance, we can help with that. So please reach out to us at ysschools.org or call our number at 767-7381. If you ask for Stephanie, she will get you on the list and we will provide food. Through the support of the Community Food Pantry, we are able to provide some dinners, some non-perishable dinners, and we do those once a week, and they will last several days. So I encourage you to look for, if you're on that list, look for the delivery, and then if you're not and you need food assistance, please reach out to us. I do want to take just a minute to thank the rest of these village organizations that you see represented here tonight for stepping up to make sure our children are fed. In my mind, our children are our most precious resource, and that is critically important. So thank you to everyone. I want to talk just briefly before I pass this on about our learning, our non-traditional instruction, which started, I believe today's Wednesday. All the days are running together, but we're 2 days in, and I think it's going okay. So parents, if you have questions or concerns, again, please reach out, call the central office, call me, email me. But on our website, and this is for anybody, if you click on the homepage, you see two big red buttons. The first will say COVID-19. So it's there that you will find a lot of information that you're seeing everywhere, but also every communication I send out to parents and families will be housed there. And I've made the commitment to communicate at least once a week to our school community. The other red button says non-traditional instruction. And if you click there, you can have access to all of the teachers' resources by grade level and then teacher name. And then on the left side of the screen is a list of a wealth of other resources that parents and families can take advantage of. I just want to emphasize what Fran DeWine said today during the governor's press conference, and that this is a time to engage with your family. And I think we all go 100 miles an hour, and it's a good stop for all of us. And I put myself in that group, so I'm trying to do things that perhaps I say I don't have time for during the course of regular business, and we know this is not regular business now. So engage with your children, engage with your families. I want to say to the parents and families of Yellow Springs, in my communication this week, I will be providing additional suggestions for that. And hopefully, as I receive more information from the Ohio Department of Education and the governor, I can communicate about future events, particularly those events as they might relate to our seniors in the class of 2020, for whom this may be a difficult experience. So if you need food, call us. Or if you have questions about academics and learning, don't hesitate to reach out either. Thank you.
Terry, thank you so much. And now we'll give the floor to Jenna Marie Cox.
Hello, this is Gina Marie. Can you hear me? All right. I want to say hello to the Village of Yellow Springs and Miami Township. I am Gina Marie Cox, the Executive Director of the Yellow Springs Community Foundation and also a member of the Yellow Springs Development Corporation. Tonight I'm going to go over a few of the current services that the foundation is providing to the community. As Josue mentioned, our community village township came together, the leaders have come together, and we've been working really hard to speak as one voice and to focus on the needs of the community and to fill those gaps. And the foundation is working very hard to help fill those gaps. We are planning for today, and we're focused on how we're going to run this marathon. This we all recognize last week, I think we all hoped that it would be over soon. And today, I think we all recognize that this is going to be much longer than we all would like it to be. And so the leaders are working together very closely to make sure that we're focused on the marathon. I want to make one mention to Mayor Pam and the neighborhood block party. That also includes the township. There are township representatives as well. So that communication methodology is both village and township. From the areas of service perspective, a couple highlights. The Yellow Springs News, as Mayor Pam mentioned, will be coming to all 45387 over the next 4 weeks. We're working very closely with the Yellow Springs Credit Union on creating an emergency loan program. The foundation has collateralized $50,000 so far in loans so that the credit union can quickly disperse loans once they come up with the process to do that. The loan payments will start in July, so it'll be a deferred loan payment process. And this is a gap measure for until emergency funds are more readily available. So we're working closely to get this out, and I hope by Friday's town hall we'll have more details for you on that and be able to post that through all of our communication methodology. The foundation has also put together an emergency fund to support the community. If you'd like to donate, I want you to know that we're working very closely with all of our organizations in town, and we'll get the money where they need, where it's needed. So if you're welcome to donate directly, or if you want to come through the foundation, but we are all working together. You can make a donation at the website, at the credit union. So the website is www.yscf.org. So yscf.org, Yellow Springs Community Foundation.org, and then also at the credit union. And then we are gathering and working on coordination of volunteers for the community in different areas. And again, I want to thank everyone that's already volunteered and is very involved. If you'd like to volunteer as well, contact yscf@yscf.org or call the foundation phone number. I think Josue is going to be posting a variety of numbers at the end of this broadcast, and you'll receive in the Yellow Springs News a flyer that also has the information. So generally, I personally feel very lucky to live in our community. We're come together and we're making a big difference, and I think a lot of lives, and protecting our people and keeping one safe. It is a crisis, but it is also an opportunity, as Dr. Holden said, that we can take care of ourselves. We all could probably use a little bit more sleep, a little bit better food, a little bit more exercise, and we could spend a little bit more time with our family and our friends and our neighbors. And I encourage us all to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina Marie. We're going to now put up the information that we said we would share at the end of the telecast. And as Sean is preparing to put that up on the website, sorry, on your monitors, I'm going to read what those resources are. And before I do so, I want to remind the audience that you can call in your questions. We have a staffed one phone line for questions. And so you can call in your question. If the lines are busy, you can leave a recording, and we'll take your questions in the order that they're received. That phone number is 937-767-3402. Again, that phone number is 937-767-3402. And all right, and on your screens, you should see the list of resources that we've compiled for you to have access to updated information. So first on the list is the Yellow Springs News, and that is ysnews.com. The Yellow Springs News has constantly updated information and is the first place to check for updates. Two speakers previously noted that effective the March 19th or the March 19th edition of the Yellow Springs News will be distributed to all residents in our community. This edition of the newspaper has very useful information, not just on the resources that are available to you, but also what you should do to take care of yourself and your loved one. Jenna Marie mentioned the website, the Yellow Springs Community Foundation, and I want to remind the audience, not yet. I want to remind the audience that their website is yscf.org. If you would have a need or would like to volunteer, please email the Community Foundation at yscf@yscf.org. And their phone number is 937-767-2655. Now, as you know, we have these virtual town hall meetings, and we're committed to holding these meetings on a regular basis. So the village and township residents will have access to these town halls on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. This can be viewed via the public access channel 5, or YouTube stream, and a Facebook stream. Mayor Pam mentioned the outreach program to the neighborhoods. Those neighborhood outreach plans are underway and to help neighbors check on one another and to provide communication to those who do not have access to the internet or other platforms. The Yellow Springs Bulletin Board on Facebook has constantly updated information, not just from us, but also from other residents or community members or sharing their own resources in this bulletin board. The WYSO 91.3 FM radio is broadcasting public service announcements and providing regional, state, and federal updates. The Yellow Springs Chamber of Commerce page also has very useful information, and that is the yschamber.org. There's also a broader, another link that you can visit, and that's www.yellowspringsohio.org. The Yellow Springs Schools also has very useful information. You've heard from Terry Holden, superintendent, on all the resources that they're making available to their community. and their website is ysschools.org. As always, our page is a resource, and we're updating several pages on there to make sure that you have access to the information that you're looking for that we have access to, and that's yso.com. I've also mentioned our HyperReach system. This is an emergency outreach system. It's an emergency alert system, so we encourage all of our residents to sign up, and you may do so by visiting yso.com. On the right-hand column, there's a contact me in emergency link, and that will take you to the registration form for the HyperReach. We've also added an image on the banner, so you can go to it right from the front of the page. Now, we also encourage residents to become acquainted with the web-based communication tools. That includes this broadcast that's being done via Zoom. We encourage you to access Facebook and our YouTube stream. We're working with a community member to create how-to tutorials on these platforms, and they will soon be available on Channel 5, and this will provide you with information on how to access all these other technologies. We also want to encourage you to listen to Governor DeWine's press conference. These are held daily at 2 p.m., and this is where he's providing updates on policies and health department news. Local TV stations are also broadcasting these conferences. And again, I want to remind you of two other sites. That's the coronavirus.gov. This is the federal website. This is being hosted by CDC, and this has very important information how you can protect yourself. Ohio also has a similar website specific to Ohio, and that's coronavirus.ohio.gov. We'll now open the line and take questions. So I think that we have some questions already in the queue. We have a question from Athena Fannin, and she's expressed her frustration regarding the ALS interpreters that should be provided for this town hall. She alerted the village manager, me last night. Athena, yes, we were in communications about this request. We tried to secure an ALS interpreter, but given the short time frame that we were operating on, you reached out to us last night. We could not secure an ALS interpreter for this virtual town hall, but we're working diligently to secure an interpreter for our next virtual town hall, which would take place on Friday. We have another question from the audience. Do we have any sense if and when non-essential stores, read downtown shops, will be asked to close? Some shops have already been asked to close by order of the Public Health Commissioner and Public Health Director. That includes hair salons, spas, tattoo parlors, nail salons, barber shops, and there's a few more. We can get that list of businesses or types of businesses out to the community. There are some businesses in town that have voluntarily closed, but other essential businesses like Tom's Market and some of your local restaurants continue to operate under the guidelines that they can make food for carryout and delivery. So that continues. We have another question. Is there any time frame that we should be aware of regarding the availability of food? At this time, we're not concerned or aware of any shortages in our local food supply chain. So we're not, I don't have any information on any shortages that we could face. So for the time being, we have food available, not just in our local economy, our local community, but also in our regional community. I have another question coming in. Services for seniors through the Tom's Partnership. There are two services that are underway for seniors in the community. One is through the Senior Center, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'll remind the public of that information for the Senior Centers. If you have a concern over being able to shop for groceries, there's a partnership in place between the Senior Center and Tom's. And this process includes being able to place the order through the Senior Center and provide your information, your address, name, and telephone number. And you can do that in two ways. You can call it in or you can email that. Once that order is received and if it's received by noon, the food or your groceries can be delivered the next day by noon, with the exception that there are no deliveries on Sunday or Monday. So the phone number to place your order through the senior center, that's 937-767-5751. You may also email your order and the information requested at info@ysseniors.org. Now, Tom's Market also has they've developed the capability of delivering food to residents. So you may call Tom's Market directly and provide that request. And Tom's Market is coordinating with others in the community to assist in the delivery of groceries if they're unable to meet the demand. So in short of it, if Tom's has any issues fulfilling the orders, they're working with partners to provide that additional capacity to deliver your groceries. Okay. Any more questions from Zoom, YouTube, or on the phone? Okay. All right, I don't see any other questions coming in. Do any of our speakers or anyone joining us via Zoom have anything they would like to share? You can raise your hand or unmute.
Hey, Josue, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Johnny.
One thing that I forgot to mention is we will be delaying hydrant flushing and the unidirectional flushing until further notice. We're going to get through this so we can maintain our system and not take a chance on disturbing brown water that is essential to the homeowners.
Thank you, Johnny. Johnny's reminder is important. You may have heard me provide several updates during council meetings that we were mapping all the valves in our water distribution system. And we wanted to make sure that all those valves are working. And part of that test is to do unidirectional flushing and exercising of those valves. We've delayed that project because we do not want to unnecessarily alarm the residents by any brown water. Exercising those valves or exercising unidirectional flushing can disturb the water and create brown water. So we are putting those projects on hold. The Public Works team is operating under a modified schedule, and they're continuing to provide the essential services and working on small projects or projects within the building so that we can safeguard our Public Works team and have them prepared for an emergency or be able to adapt to the changing conditions or environment that we're in. I see okay.
I have one comment I want to make to Gina Marie, which is, I had a map of the township pulled up today, Gina Marie, and I was looking at that, correlating that with a list of addresses and so forth, the contacts that Don Hollister had provided. I'm in communication with him. So I don't want our friends in the township to think, oh, what's up with us? They're very much a part of this project. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pam. And yes, while I'm the village manager for the village of Yellow Springs, I'm working with our partners in the township to ensure that and the surrounding community that we are also a resource to them and we are here to assist. You may be aware that we have mutual aid agreements with surrounding jurisdictions. Those continue in place. Our law enforcement agency has worked with our partners in the surrounding communities to ensure that if we need assistance, they're there to help. And if they need our assistance, they can count on us. Likewise for our Public Works team, that's power, water. So we are a partner in this and we're gonna get through this together. Okay. Okay, all right. I don't see any additional questions coming through. So in the event that questions are presented to us after this meeting, we will record those questions, provide responses, and hope to address them at the next virtual town hall. So your questions don't have to be limited to this live session. You can submit your questions and we'll work on answering.
Josue, this is Lisa Krieger. I want to just say thank you to you and to all the other individuals and community members who are leveraging this remote access way to communicate. I think it's so great that we are proactively communicating this way. I want to appreciate all of the different stakeholders in the village who are demonstrating a truly collaborative approach to facing this, before we are in a disaster situation. I am confident that through this proactive work and through social distancing, that we are going to be able to minimize the impact on our community. And so I want to thank you. I want to thank Johnny Burns and his team, and the Community Foundation, and all of the Pam Canine, everyone who's involved. It's just such an honor to be a part of this community right now.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And I feel privileged that to have the opportunity to work with such a wonderful team, not just in the administration and our partners in the township, but also the wonderful in the community, whether they have an official role in an organization or not, they're willing to roll up their sleeves and get to work in a way that's collaborative. It's all about looking for solutions. It's not about their anyone's personal reviews. It's what's best for our community. So I feel honored and privileged to be part of this community and be able to work with all of you. All right. Well, if there are no other further questions in closing, we are here as a resource, a partner, and as a community. Please connect with us via all the resources that we've made available. We'll host these virtual town halls on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to provide regular updates. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you on Friday.